hilarious point. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. I just want to point out how these guys they're absolutely terrified of the lack of control that they're starting to have. And they're realizing that this is why I think the tyranny, let's say that, of these little mini tyrants kind of accelerated because they're realizing that they have to try to get it all done once because this process has been sped up because they're starting to lose fucking control. And it's happening in more ways than one. And this is a way that we've discussed before, but I want to make sure I do it again. This isn't going to be news to people that are in the more liberty-minded circles. Dave Troy, who surprisingly doesn't even have a blue check mark. This is what he says. I can't stress this enough. The crypto attack on the dollar, which is funny how he views it that way, is not strictly a pump and dump or a grift. It's an ideological driven attack on the legitimacy of fiat currency, the Federal Reserve. That part is not incorrect. And the incumbent financial system. It is the sequel to the January 6th attack. They're never going to let that fucking sham of an attack, insurrection, they say. They're never going to let that shit go. They're never going to let it go. All these lies about it have been debunked, but they're still clinging on it like it was fucking 9/11 or some shit. Or no, in some cases, they'll say it was worse. He said, just as January 6th was not successful, this faces serious headwinds. But as an ideological attack, they are convinced their cause is just. Just because it's insane doesn't mean that's not what they are doing. They're going for it. Expect them to heavily flirt with not raising the debt ceiling. Okay, he's saying this as if not raising the debt ceiling is a bad thing. That flirtation may lead to volatile conditions that may in fact lead in a failure to raise the debt ceiling. Okay, to this point, you're giving them props. If that happens, well, chaos. Chaos for who? You guys, because you guys don't have any more control? Secondary effects will be overwhelming. This needs and may be attracting an overwhelming response by the SEC, Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury. These are some of the most corrupt, crooked, and criminal institutions that have existed in this country. Sooner versus later, Democrats do not have control of the Senate, and a debt ceiling raise is not a done deal. We are increasingly seeing a drumbeat from elected officials undermining the legitimacy of the Federal Reserve and the dollar. He's saying this as if this is bad news. That's how completely oblivious these crackhead ass people are that want to protect the status quo. Doubt this at your own peril. This is revenge for the New Deal. No, it's people waking up to the fact that they don't want to be financially controlled. And I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit. So what he's pointing out is a lot of, blue check marks, some of which are Republicans, some of which have been leading their own movement. Christopher Rufo has been a big proponent against like CRT in schools. He says that it's fake money enabling fake ideology is completely true. Anthony Scaramucci talks about Bitcoin. Wendy Rogers, crypto is better than fiat. That's a fact. That's not an opinion or anything. Say no to Fedcoin, says Wendy Rogers, which I didn't know that was her position. So big shout out to Wendy Rogers. Media is totally asleep on this, but not for long, as it will be impossible to ignore the attack merges with the debt ceiling conversation. Get ahead of it now. This is not just about money laundering or organized crime either. The libertarians pursuing, at least they're finally mentioning us and giving us the credit. Yeah, there we go. He says this is libertarians pursuing what they think is perfect Austrian economics. I don't know about the perfect part, but yeah, there's a lot of great works and write-ups talking about Bitcoin, for example, and the Austrian economist perspective on Bitcoin. And dominating the dirty central bankers. Yes. Who have corrupted money and finance since the Fed was correct. No. The Fed has corrupted money and finance, not us. It ain't us. This is a full frontal assault. Who may be harmed? Oh, man, this is glorious. What a meltdown. I don't know if I keep reading this. This video will go on too long. The millions and billions of people who depend on the stability of the current financial system. What stability? Has anybody checked to see the value of your dollar since fucking 1913? It ain't fucking good. Anybody paying attention to the inflation issues that are happening right now where their money doesn't go as far? What are you talking about? For all the talk of protecting vulnerable people from crypto land, they give zero fucks about those with 401ks and are just trying to live a dignified life in peace. That's what the Fed does. The Fed is the one screwing with salary workers. Well, you go in, working a job for X amount of years, or you on this particular salary. And then going into the next year, you're technically, effectively, because of your buying power. This is my specialty, by the way. This is I know we getting on some nerd shit. This is economics. I can talk about this shit all day long. But the buying power is lesser. So they've technically, despite being on the same amount of money, same salary, they're making less money. The savings, the money that they have stored away in these fucking banks is worth less. That is a projection. It is the Fed in combination with the Treasury that is doing this. Fucking people that depend on this system. The disdain for those people, which no, it's not the disdain. We don't have a disdain for people. Have fun being poor. Okay, that part I will agree with. I do think like Bitcoin maximalists that say that shit, I've had run-ins with them. I do think that as well-intended as they think that they might be, from a communication perspective, it's fucking retarded. I will say that. Those people that say that, I've been told that myself, which is fucking stupid because I own so much fucking Bitcoin. But I've been told that they'll say that basically because you don't shield for it 100% or something, you have those certain individuals who are like, have fun being poor. And like, yeah, you're broke ass holding fucking $200 worth of Bitcoin and you gonna tell me to have fun being poor. Shut your stupid ass up. Anyway, I will agree that those guys are fucking assholes. But to be fair, I don't think that represents the majority of people that are utilizing this. Only those in the know on libertarian fantasy money, what I don't know what that is, deserve to be saved in their book. No, I don't think that's the position. I do think those crackheads that go off and always rattle shit like, have fun being poor. They are some of those guys that seem to be acting as if they are doing something special by holding it. Even if you are a fellow guy that just gets it and hold it or uses money to make more money to then buy more Bitcoin, which is, what a lot of us end up doing. They act as if they're doing something fucking special. I don't think, though, it's about, even from their perspective, about not saving you, because the argument that they would make is that they're trying to save you and you're rejecting their help. And so that's when they generally say have fun being poor. Remember, for the people that don't remember, the whole moist thing, which, I don't want to say it's even an inside joke. It's pretty public where people would say that came from an argument with me having with a Bitcoin maximalist when I called his ass moist, and he would say shit like have fun being poor. So I'm not even coming from this from a perspective of bias, because I know those assholes exist. I still fucking, got a bunch of fucking Bitcoin that want to continue to have more. This includes, he said, this is a Team Boy dreamland made with real code and democracies we talk about thing. Well, that's not giving credit to anything other than the fact that, okay, you're boosting or bolstering up people that are Bitcoin maximalists, because if they're not pro-democracy, that would make them objectively better than you. This includes the monetary system, a hostile assault on a bunch of libertarian fascists. Those are antithetical fucking positions, you goddamn moron. Right? Libertarian fascism it's antithetical concepts. Modern libertarianism is an individualist philosophy. Fascism, by way of not what they call it. I'm talking about actual fascism, doctrine of fucking fascism, Mussolini, Giovanni Gentile. says that his position was more of a pro modern liberalism, which is basically what libertarianism is, was more of about the individual, and the fascism was about the collective. So what the fuck are you talking about? Your position is far more pro-fascist than a Bitcoiner's. This attack is every bit of dangerous as January 6th. It's happening. So not dangerous at all. Is that what you're saying? And it's happening in stealth. So this is a guy that's starting to realize the writing on the wall. The money is going to shit. I'm not going to keep reading this fucking moron as he's fucking having a meltdown here. The money's shit. The money has been shit. And now there is an actual competing, let's say, money that they can't control as much as they can with like Federal Reserve notes. That terrifies them, right? They have been trying to speak away and wish away Bitcoin forever. Now the shit's fucking worth, what is it? I don't even know where it's at. I can't even keep up. It's over 60 grand still. I can't even fucking keep up. But every year it's it's gonna go away. And again, I'm not a maximalist. I don't pretend to be one. I do believe, whether I believe it or not, it's really irrelevant. As far as that's the dominating crypto right now. I'm a precious metal guy as well. Big time gold guy. So yeah, I would say if you can get all of that shit, get it. You know what I mean? That would be my. Well, rather, let me say that's my position. Instead of telling you that that's what I would recommend that you do, how about this? That's what I'm doing. I'm getting all of that shit if I can, because I want to be around in case it fucking hits the fan. But on a serious note, these guys can't control it. They can try to pretend it out of existence. They can't. They tried that. It's not working. But they can't control it. It's not monopolized. That's the point. It's not centralized. That's the fucking point. And yeah, those I don't even care to fucking even make that video about this, about those who sit up here and like, oh, well, they're anti-crypto because of my internet, and if the internet goes out and all this shit, like whatever. That's not the argument what I want to have. I'm just telling you why they're upset and he's having a meltdown and why they hate it so much. It's because it operates more as real money, which you look at as the most common commodity, or rather most desired, if you will, better than what their fake monopoly money that is backed by not a goddamn thing is. And if they don't, and this is look at it like this. Yeah, you can make the argument that money all over the place relies upon people's kind of belief or value in that system, right? You can make that argument. But when we say like it's backed by nothing or it's printed out of fucking thin air, it's not like, like when you look at the money supply and the inflationary spending or the deficit spending, which they're allowed to do because they're allowed to monetize their fucking debt utilizing the Federal Reserve in order for them to do that. It's not like it's backed by anything. It's literally just out of thin air. It's fake. Whereas when you look at, obviously, with precious metals and how long it's been able to buy shit for as long as it has been. Yeah, I'll make the argument and I would agree that this stuff has value in the value that people put into it. But what they are terrified of is that people are putting value into a more decentralized money and they can't control that. And if they don't have people believing that, let's say, in the legitimacy, which is all that it's backed by, the legitimacy of the U.S. dollar, they are fucking powerless. All the spending efforts that they have or attempt to have go the fuck away. So once their money is fucked, which is already fucked, but you get what it is I'm saying, as in there's no perceived legitimacy in their money, they're powerless. They're fucking powerless. And there are people that are starting to see the writing on the wall. He's actually ahead of it than a lot of other Democrats. Don't let the secret out. But they're starting to see the writing on the wall. Like, wait a minute, we're not going to be able to control and pimp people if we don't have control of their money. What the fuck? So he's seeing that as a threat. That's a coping mechanism at best. So yeah, Hopefully this influences you. If you have not looked into possibly purchasing some Bitcoin, maybe you should. You're seeing that it's triggering the right people. Go ahead, get in on it. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.